He's good. Very good.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the best television episodes of the modern age.
I built this, me alone, nobody else.
You're right.
Watch out for spoilers ahead. Number 10, Everyone's Waiting, 6 Feet Under. There are series finales, but then there's Everyone's Waiting. 6 Feet Under was a special show all along, but its finale is considered one of the best of all time.
Can you say to Daddy?
To Daddy.
To Nate.
Unlike every other episode in the show's history, the show begins with not a death, but a birth. Brenda gives birth to her daughter Willa at the beginning of the episode, while still struggling with her partner Nate's death.
And can I see her?
As soon as she's ready. I promise you, someone will come take you to her.
The show offers healing for both of them and all the Fisher clan, but it's the final montage that gets us. We get to see what the future has in store for everybody in the Fisher family, including their deaths. It's a gorgeously bittersweet way to end the show. Number 9, happy ending, Schitt's Creek. When it came to ending this show, Schitt's Creek decided to go with a classic, a wedding.
Regardless of how that happens or where that happens, at the end of the day, I'm gonna kiss that worried-looking face of yours and call you my husband.
But there's a lot more to be said about the finale of this beloved sitcom, even if David and Patrick's wedding is one of the most beautiful we've ever seen. The episode gives closure to all of our favourite characters, whether it be Alexis moving on from Ted, or Johnny and Moira moving back to California.
Love you.
The episode centres around the wedding between our two favourite boys, but the wedding is also a way to bring all of our favourite characters together for one last time. Plus, it made us wish that Moira was real so she could officiate our wedding.
It is all but impossible to explain why things happen the way they do. Our lives are like little baby crows.
Number 8, Teddy Perkins, Atlanta. From the moment it started in 2016, Atlanta was one of the most interesting shows to hit television. But Teddy Perkins might be its most outrageous episode ever.
I choose you. You're my sacrifice.
The episode takes a sharp turn from Atlanta's more comic sensibilities and turns into something more horror adjacent. In the episode, Darius, played by Lakeith Stanfield, goes to a stranger's house to pick up a prized piano once owned by a famous musician. He meets a strange man named Teddy Perkins, played by Donald Glover in pasty makeup.
I got you your water.
Oh, yes, thank you. I needed that.
What unfolds from there is frightening, a little funny, and exhilarating. We don't know what goes on in Glover's mind, but we'd like to find out.
It's a very hard thing.
Yeah. I can imagine.
No, you can't!
Number 7, The Suitcase, Mad Men. Who knew that coming up with an advertising campaign for a suitcase company could make such riveting television?
As they fall, the competitors will bust open, clothing flying out. Touchdown Samsonite!
I got it, honey.
You sure do, Joe.
This episode of Mad Men is widely considered one of the show's best, and one of the best episodes of television ever. It centres around the two most important characters on the show, Don and Peggy, as they struggle to meet a deadline for an important client.
I gave you more responsibility and you didn't do anything.
That you like. We did work a lot.
I don't care if you work 10 seconds. If you bring me something I like.
What starts out as a professional endeavour, however, ends up becoming personal. Throughout the episode, Peggy and Don learn they have more in common than they realised, bonding them together in a way they never expected.
I saw my father die too. Kicked by a horse.
You're kidding.
It's not romantic, but something far more spiritual and intimate.
Sorry if I embarrassed you.
Number 6, The One With The Embryos, Friends. It's rare you get a sitcom episode with one of the funniest storylines ever, and also one of the most heartwarming.
You guys, you're gonna have a baby. They're gonna have a baby.
But Friends did that with The One With The Embryos. The title comes from Phoebe's attempts to get pregnant so she can be a surrogate for her brother and his wife. But the meat of the episode really has to do with an unforgettable competition between the boys and the girls.
The categories are fears and pet peeves, ancient history, literature, and it's all relative.
Monica and Rachel decide to go up against Chandler and Joey in a battle of who knows each other best. The prize? Monica and Rachel's apartment. The trivia game is an iconic part of Friends history.
Rachel claims this is her favorite movie. Dangerous Liaisons. Correct. Her actual favorite movie is
Weekend at Bernie's.
Correct.
Number 5, Two Cathedrals, The West Wing.
What was Josh Lyman? A warning shot? That was my son. What did I ever do to yours but praise his glory and praise his name?
If there's one thing Aaron Sorkin knows how to do, it's write a memorable speech. And President Bartlett's plea to God at the end of Two Cathedrals is one of the best.
Yes, I lied. It was a sin. I've committed many sins. Have I displeased you, you feckless thug?
This episode of The West Wing follows Bartlett in the lead up to the funeral of his personal secretary, Mrs. Landingham. At the same time, Bartlett is dealing with questions about his own health and the fact that he has multiple sclerosis. It's an incredibly emotional episode in myriad ways and derives much of its power from an absolutely dynamite performance from Martin Sheen.
I'm sorry, Sandy, there was a bit of noise there. Could you repeat the question?
Can you tell us right now if you'll be seeking a second term?
Number 4, The Constant, Lost. Time travel is always a tricky thing for any television show to get into.
What's the matter, Hugh? Did you not hear me?
I'm sorry, sir. I was having a dream, sir.
But Lost understood that as much as we care about the mechanics of everything, that's not really the most important part. As long as you get the emotion right, things will be fine.
I'm in trouble. I think something's happened to me, and I'm confused, and I need to see you.
The Constant centres around Desmond Hume, who finds himself unstuck in time. As his mind travels back and forth from 1996 to 2004, he struggles to find the one thing that can centre him, his constant. As it turns out, love is the strongest force, and Desmond's constant ends up being his on and off again partner, Penny. The final phone call between them is stunning.
I don't know where I am, but
I'll find you, Des.
I promise.
No matter what.
I'll come back to you.
I won't give up.
I promise.
I promise. I love you.
Number 3, Battle of the Bastards, Game of Thrones. When it comes to production values and budget, there's no episode of television that has stunned quite like the Battle of the Bastards.
Go! Follow your commander!
By the time the 6th season of Game of Thrones rolled around, we knew to expect stunning visuals. But the battle between Jon Snow and Ramsay Bolton took our breath away.
Now.
Cavalry! Charge!
The image of Jon Snow standing in front of a slew of charging horses alone was enough for us. But the episode just grew from there. Besides the amazing look of the Battle of the Bastards is also emotionally satisfying. It gives Sansa her due and lets us finally return to Winterfell.
Your words will disappear. Your house will disappear. Your name will disappear.
Number 2, Ozymandias, Breaking Bad.
You're the smartest guy I ever met. And you're too stupid to see. He made up his mind 10 minutes ago.
Throughout Breaking Bad, Walter White never quite had the strength to admit to himself just how badly he had broken. But in the 3rd to last episode of the series, that all changed for good. Ozymandias is a stunning piece of television, focusing not only on Walt's psyche, but also the breakdown of all the important relationships in his life.
I watched her overdose and choke to death. I could have saved her. But I didn't.
Whether it be Walt and Jesse, Walt and Skylar, or Walt and Hank, nearly every important dynamic gets a moment to shine, and what ends up happening on our screens left us gobsmacked.
You took my child.
'Cause you need to learn.
You bring her back!
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. Long Time, The Last of Us. Sometimes a love story is all you need at the end of the world.
I'm sorry. For what? Getting older faster than you.
I like you older. Older means we're still here.
Connor's Wedding, Succession. The Titan fell and we were riveted.
How about we just get some doctors in there, some proper doctors, and then we'll know what actually happened. Then we can talk about it.
Sure. I mean, he has gone. I think he has died.
Well, okay, we don't know that. So.
Sure, I get it. But, like, I think they know.
Okay.
Previously on WandaVision. What is grief if not love persevering?
I've never experienced loss because I've never had a loved one to lose. But what is grief if not love persevering?
Chicanery, Better Call Saul. We couldn't turn our eyes away from Bob Odenkirk.
You recognize that man in back? His name is Huel Babineau. He's on our witness list. You bumped into him in the stairway. He'll testify he planted this fully charged battery on you over an hour and a half ago.
Hour and 43 minutes.
Stand Still Like the Hummingbird, Euphoria. This is Zendaya at her finest.
You don't understand women so much, okay? It's not mine. This is bad. This is really bad.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, long-term parking, The Sopranos. Listen, we could have filled this list up with episodes from The Sopranos. Pine Barrens and Christopher and Paulie's antics very nearly took the top spot.
You sure? Because I thought we kind of looped around.
4 years in the Army, kid. We just follow our own footprints.
But our hearts were left shattered after the masterful devastation of long-term parking. This far into The Sopranos run, Adriana was really the only truly innocent character left. That doesn't mean she hadn't made bad decisions, but she was really the only person you could justify rooting for.
They wanted to arrest you too, Christopher. I was just trying to protect you. They said all they wanted was some information and they would leave us alone.
Watching her almost get away only to be murdered by the people she had once called friends is one of the most terrible things we've ever seen on television. But it's also the culmination of years of careful storytelling.
That's the guy, Adriana. My Uncle Tony. The guy I'm going to hell for.
If we missed any of your favourite episodes in the modern television age, let us know in the comments below.
Starting on my left with 1, your number comes up, you go.
Just so you know, Jeff, you are now creating 6 different timelines.
Of course I am, Abed.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.